We're going to talk about finding your hidden treasures. We're going to talk about what's hot and what's not. Everything I'm going to talk about today is, well, it's a 6-page handout, but mostly what I'd like you to do is to send me an email and I'll email it to you. So you don't have to have extra paperwork or something like that. Okay, so let's talk about what you're going to do with your treasures. And the third thing would be what venue to use for selling. There's person-to-person, there's online, or there's third-party. And then most importantly, we're going to talk about how to price. Because either you want to keep it or you want to sell it. And pricing is huge. What makes something valuable? Okay, well this item right here is 14 karat gold, by the way. It's old, it's beautiful, it's rare, and it was expensive to buy. So you would think that it's got to be worth much more than the gold. Weighs 158 grams, so around $3,400. But it doesn't have a name on it. There's no Cartier, there's nothing on it. What my findings were is that this was a replica of a Cartier. So some jeweler made this. So it's not more valuable than the gold. Name has a lot to do with it. So again, just because it's rare and old doesn't make it more valuable than the gold. Selling your stuff, what's hot and what's not. Okay, costume jewelry is huge. God, people just love to buy it. And I sell tons of it. Just so you know, a little cheap trick here. This is all hanging by a magnet. If it's magnetic, it is not gold and silver. Now, the reverse doesn't work, by the way. Just because it's not magnetic doesn't mean that it is gold and silver. Speaking of silver, okay, these are sterling silver rings. They are worth way more than their value. Because right now, silver's not worth that much, 14 and change. So don't smelt your silver, silver jewelry. I'll buy that from you. Okay, so again, I can't talk about in this time frame what all is hot, but garage tools. Oh my God, I can sell those like crazy. You've got gold mine in your garage. Mid-century modern's huge, practical items, all that. What's not? And again, I'm just touching on this. Most of your furniture, okay? Your furniture is outlived its usefulness, and you bought it 20 years ago. You milked every dime out of it. Get over it. I'm kidding. But some exciting things. There's so much fun stuff that I deal with, and silver plate nowadays is really passe. We're not entertaining. We're not having silver platters out there, but there are some items that do sell. Now, this is something you probably don't have. This is a silver plate caviar server. Okay? Now, this is worth about $250. So there is some silver plate that is valuable. You're going to have some items in your home that you don't know about that are valuable. And that's why I'm here to help. So what are you going to do with your items? Now that you've decided to clear out some of your stuff, and you're going to give it away to family and friends if they want. Good luck with that. Or you give it away to charity or throw away. But don't do that until you check with me, please. Craigslist, you can do free stuff on the curb. But the most fun is to sell. And that's what I do. I love to sell stuff for other people. But you can do it yourself. You can do it, we're going to talk about person to person, which is your Craigslist. I kind of bottom feeders there, but Let Go, Nextdoor, Opera, all those places. They're wonderful. The only downside to them is that you have to deal with a person. And that's why I say it's called person to person. I don't like people coming to my home or my garage. So sometimes if I do sell through those menus, I'll meet the service. But there's scammers out there, and you can decide on $75 and then bring $60 and say that's all they have. And so that's not fun. I've had it happen to me. So annoying and frustrating can be common when you're dealing with person to person. So the next way to sell is online. Everybody knows eBay. Their list is just huge. Downside to that is that you've got to, create a little marketplace, and that takes time. And also eBay charges you, between eBay and PayPal, they charge you 13%. So you're going to lose that right off the top. All right, that's pretty substantial. All right, but there are some niche sites where you can just sell directly to them. You don't have to, set up a marketplace. A Bonanza for clothes, aid books, declutter for DVDs, so on and so forth. So there are some places where you don't actually have to, work too hard. You just ship it to them. So the downside to selling online is it requires you to take on a project that you may not have time to do. In other words, you probably will not get around to making it happen. Third-party selling, and that's the least painful way to sell. And we have auction houses nearby a South Coast auction, but they're going to pay you pennies on the dollar. That's really only good if you're liquidating and you're kind of desperate. Then there's big auction houses like Heritage in LA. They are going to charge you around 35%, plus you've got to go on their catalog, plus it's going to take a really long time to sell it because it may not go for even a year. But if you have something important, then send it to Heritage. Consignment brick and mortar stores, they usually take 50%, but let's suppose you're selling that furniture, you got to truck it, $75 an hour for that truck, and so that's going to come off of your 50%. So don't expect a lot if it goes into a consignment store. My favorite way is, of course, selling through my company, Treasure Hunt Estate Services. I buy an item outright from you. I come to your home, or I take it on consignment. You're going to get a little less if I buy it directly from you, because I have to put out the money. So I take them to my existing estate sales. I do about 40 sales a year, and so you just become a consignee. It's way fun. For larger ticket items, though, this is really great. We do our own online auctions. We have our own software, and we bypass eBay. So that saves up 13%. I sold a computer for a 6-year-old computer for $600 on our own website, and bypassed that 13%. I sold a set of JPL speakers. Well, actually, it's called Paragon, and I sold that for $15,000. Bypassing that 13%. So that's really, for bigger ticket items, that's the way to go. So conclusion to selling through a third party is this is just a great way for those that don't have the time or the expertise to deal with it. Now, pricing. Okay. This is the most important step, people. Most of you are going to price it by what you paid for it. This is totally not relevant. Pricing should be based upon supply, but mostly demand. Demand runs this world here, in my world of selling. You get an idea, you've got to do some research, and you go to eBay, and you can't just look at the listings. Oh, I get that all the time. This is lithograph. I found it on eBay for $1,500. Oh, wow, that's great. I show them the sold listings, and it's sold for $50. So don't count on eBay listings. They're just erroneous. So anyway, when you go to eBay, you go to Advanced. It's a button that's up on the top right-hand corner, and you go, and then there's a drop-down list on the left, and you click on completed listings and sold listings. Now that's going to tell you what's really going on. So you should also note if the sales were recent, because if it hasn't sold this year or last year, then really it's not hot. And even if it sold one time for that price, that could be just a fluke. So there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into it. Another good source is live auctioneers, but what I use WorthPoint and I use AskArt.com. These are paid services, but you can go online for a day. You can pay for a day. It's really going to tell you what's going on. If your artist is not on AskArt.com and has never sold anything for an auction, it's not worth hardly anything. It's worth the frame. So common sense prevails. What would you pay for it? When I'm pricing stuff, I look at it and what would I pay for that? Even if I don't like it, though, it doesn't matter. I look at the condition is huge. There's a whole lot of factors that go into it. So conclusion to pricing, it is worth what someone is willing to pay for it. Another source of pricing is me. My card is there. You can just send me a picture. I want front, back, and bottom, that kind of thing. And I'll just give you a free quickie appraisal. Or if you need a formal appraisal for insurance or IRS purposes, I can do that as well. I'm happy to help you with any services. For the RBN people here, obviously, any services I can provide for you, it would be a good discount, because it's a great group. So that's it. And thank you for your time. And again, I'm Andrea Waite.